You know, it has been a minute since I saw y'all, or since y'all saw us. I'll say it like this. There's a season to prepare the soil, and there's a season to plant your seeds. And at some point in time, there comes a harvest. And what I find is the harvest keeps you probably busier than just about anything. You know, we planted for an abundance, and that's what we got. Even from this little bitty garden right here. And those tomatoes there, the tomatoes in the front yard, the beans in the front yard, there was an abundance. You know, folks, we're talking about this lot is less than 1/4 of an acre. And we grew some food. We grew a lot of food. And man, you know, it's just awesome. It is just awesome. I mean, we still got piles of food out here. If you can see those tomatoes back there, they're just loaded up with fruit. And it's great. So we got all kind of stuff to talk about in this video. It's going to be kind of choppy. There's going to be different dates. We're going to be all over the place. But I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Summertime is here, and we are planting turmeric. Turmeric.
Turmeric.
Isn't it awesome? We love it. You know, I told y'all earlier this year that I was putting these peppers at the ends of the rows, and I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. So that's okay. I'm making a pepper bed. So this entire bed right here is going to be committed to nothing but peppers, jalapenos, and bells. That's all I got. And I got that one Reaper up front and one high chili. So this bed right here will be nothing but peppers. Mixing up a little bit of nutrient solution for these tomatoes. You know, they're doing their part. They're making tomatoes. We've sold a pile of tomatoes. I'll bet you, I don't know how many hundreds of pounds of tomatoes we've sold, but we've sold a bunch of them. That was good. We've got very, very, very tall plants. chicken fight. These plants are probably, I don't know, 8 feet tall. Some of them. Worm pressure has increased. You know, I'm considering just kind of cutting it off, taking all the green tomatoes, making green tomato ketchup, shutting off the nutrients, and ending the tomato season. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to just know when to call it and say, okay, I'm going backwards. I've got to stop the cycle of putting out but nothing coming back in. I got this row of peas right here, and those are looking pretty good. I think they're going to do well. This row of peas I want to talk to you about right here. This row of peas. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about this okra. So if you see this leaf curl here, I mean, this is pretty bad. This is really, really, really bad. This okra should be producing flowers. It should be producing okra now, but it's not. And I'll tell you what happened. About 45 days ago, I went and picked up some composted horse manure. I put it in the row, and I planted my okra directly into it. And I noticed this leaf curl starting to happen. I wasn't sure what it was. I wasn't sure if it was just stress. I wasn't sure if it was a virus, bacteria. It just started happening, and it didn't go away. You know, sometimes you'll see like stress will happen at stages, and then as we progress through vegetative growth, that will stop. But this isn't stopping. You can see, you know, if we get down in here, if we look right here at this crown, you know, it's not stopping, it's not ending. So I did some more research, and here's what I found out. GRAZON will cause this. GRAZON is a herbicide that hay producers use when they are producing hay specifically for cows. You're not supposed to feed this to horses, but it slips through. So here's what I've got. I've got hay, I've got composted horse manure that has been consumed, or it's hay that's been consumed by horses, and has come through the cycle, and I still have residual GRAZON in this soil. I talked to the folks the other day that manufacture it, and they said, yep, that sounds pretty accurate, sounds like what you got. I said, well, you know, I'm not here to lay blame on anybody. What I'm here for is I need help. And she said, dig that up and flush it with water. And she said, ultimately, the only thing that you can do is wait. She said, time is the only healer for this soil. So I put that horse manure in this row here, and then I put it in this row here where these peas are. And you can see it's the same thing. You know, we've got this leaf curl. These plants are not going to recover. I'm going to dig this up, and I'm going to try to dispose of it. Ultimately, once this season is over, you know, we're going to move the garden, and we're going to give this a rest and see what happens. So we're going to give this garden a rest. We will move the chickens from over here. We'll put them on this side of the yard, and we'll redo our garden. You know, we'll start our fall garden on this side of the world, and I think that's really our only choice. So this GRAZON is some pretty nasty stuff. I mean, you can see what it does to the plants, and you know, they say, I guess what I was told was it's a 3 to 5 year half-life. So I mean, it's an active herbicide for 3 to 5 years. And man, that's bad. You know, I told the lady on the phone, I said, I've got a problem. I said, every row of my garden is just like money. I said, it's how I feed my family. And for me to lose 2 rows, I mean, that's like taking a 40% pay cut. Because I feed my family with it. I'm going to put these beds to bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna mow them down, literally mow them down, and I'll take the debris that I bag up. I'll put it right back on top of the row, and I'm gonna cover it up with the same black plastic that I used to the ground cloth, and we'll let that sit there for a little while, and then we'll get it ready for the next crop. So soil building is extremely important to us here at the house. We live in southeast Georgia, and this is a subdivision, okay, so a lot of topsoil has been brought in here. But essentially we only have about 6 or 8 inches of topsoil. Beneath that is sand and clay, and that's not very good for growing in. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to mow that down, and I put my debris right back in the row. But the mowing action leaves the root structure of the bean still inside the ground, under the surface of the ground. And the reason I want to do that is because beans are a legume, and they fix nitrogen. I had to step out of that heat for just a minute. But what I was saying is legumes, beans, peas, and things like that, they fix nitrogen. So what fixing nitrogen means is there is naturally nitrogen in the air. You know, it's part of the atmosphere. And legumes, peas and beans, will take that nitrogen out of the atmosphere and store it in little bitty nodules in the root system. I hope you can see it. There's little bitty nodules right there. And that is a nitrogen nodule. And so by mowing that down and leaving that root system in the ground, I'm already fertilizing. I'm already putting nitrogen back into my soil. Okay, so that's it. Those 2 rows are put to bed. That material that I put down on the rows, that organic material, is going to break down. Worms are going to come eat it. The nitrogen nodules are going to feed the soil. And all I got to do now is uncover it, put a little bit of compost down on the rows, and plant right into it. And we're so glad you stopped by. Y'all take care. God bless.